Before we get going, I just want to take a second and thank our Vegas Summer League sponsor, which is SeatGeek. The SeatGeek app has been on my phone for years, and if you're going to a concert or a sporting event or just about anything live, SeatGeek does more than just get you in the building. They have access to the best tickets. They can get you super close to the action, and you'll see it in these videos. If you're heading to an event soon, save a whopping $20 off of your first purchase by using the promo code dimedrop and secure your seat today. So we're in Vegas. We're gonna go meet Stefan and Nat, his friend. They're from New York. I've never met Stefan, so this is kind of weird. Just interested to see how this is gonna go. This might be a little bit of a loopy, weird day, but we're in Vegas, so if you're gonna be loopy and weird, I guess this is the place to do that. First game is Portland and the San Antonio Spurs. After that, we got Miami and Utah. Forget the third game. I think it's Memphis. The nightcap is the Lakers and the Knicks. I actually think Stefan used me to get to go to this game. I'm gonna confront him about that. Stefan's, I think, a little bit of like a soft New York type. I don't want to say a dandy. I don't want to be too harsh, but he just seems like sort of a pretty boy type. I'm gonna really try to establish dominance early in our relationship. We're gonna get into some trouble, I think, and have a good time. Enjoy this basketball event on what looks like Mars. Yeah, so here we go, guys. First thing that you should know about Summer League is that it's obviously an industry event. Even people that aren't directly involved with the goings-on are in town and socializing. Now I want to clarify, this is all strictly what we saw in person. We were at the Thomas & Mack Center. No Jaren Jackson Jr. or Marvin Bagley today because, hey, obviously, the two people that I came 2,000 miles to see, not to mention Jaren Jackson Jr. played after we left. I don't want to sound self-involved, but I bet that he heard that I didn't do a video about him and he refused to play. I guarantee that's what happened. Here were some standouts from day one. Unfortunately for Knox, the moment that Frankie Nicotine left the lineup, the Knicks weren't just without a point guard, they were essentially without any facilitator on the floor. I don't know if you watched Alonzo Trier at Arizona, but a lot of his issues were resurfacing quickly in Vegas. This led to some pretty rough stretches of basketball. Knox had some really bright moments though. His shot looked quick, his mechanics looked tight, and we watched him pour in 16 third quarter points, which included 4 consecutive threes at one point. Rod Strickland had this to say about that sequence. What would you have done if a dude has hit 3 threes in a row on you? What is play number 4?
Oh, I got to get up in him.
Yeah.
You know, I have to chase him off that 3-point line, make him drive the ball. So that rocket step's not gonna work. I'm gonna push up, and I'm gonna make you drive that ball. He's right-handed, so I'm sending him left. I'm gonna get up in him.
Yeah. I've always been a fan of Justin Jackson through high school and college. He just struck me as a really versatile offensive tool. There are a few guys that were in great position to play well in Vegas, and I think Jackson was one of them. Without Bagley, Jackson got the opportunity to see his touches go up. He didn't do it with a lot of efficiency, getting 19 points a game on almost 17 shots per game, which isn't great, but it's Summer League, and he did respond to having the opportunity to put the ball in the basket in a variety of ways. He looked good. It's hard to know how much run Wagner will get this upcoming year, but on a roster that's not loaded with 4s or 5s, it seems like Mo is going to get a chance to benefit from the LeBron effect, and I think that he'll handle it well. He's exactly the type of enthusiastic guy that will latch on to the experience, and he knows how to play basketball, so I think that Mo Wagner is actually going to have a chance to have a decent rookie year. Just some notes. Magic Johnson is definitely on another level of famous. The whole arena exploded when he came in. I always imagined Vivek and Vlade together. Every time I saw them, they were. They really should be filming a pilot for a buddy sitcom at this point.
Requesting that he never return. Can 2 divorced men share an apartment without driving each other crazy?
So we met Stefan and we met Nat. They were actually annoyingly charming. We had to sit there and listen to all their likable anecdotes. And who would have thought that a fellow from Kentucky rural like me, I say things like, I'm liable to pull off and get a soda. I say things like, I reckon, or I was fixing to do that. First thing that happened on day 2, I tried to meet Amin El Hassan and airballed it pretty gloriously. Just a word of advice if you're ever meeting your heroes. Never begin any intro with your hero with the words big fan. He could smell my fandom a mile away. Skip that part. It's almost like getting friend zoned, except you're getting fan zoned. The claw machine of life takes you and goes, and you're over here with potential weirdos. I'm not a weirdo, I swear. As I fall down a chasm into obscurity. The people watching was off the charts today. Kareem stopped by to chat with Bill Russell, and then Bill Russell flipped off Vince Carter. Markelle Fultz was eating Mega Mix Mike and Ike's one day, which are really good. I also saw the redheaded guy from that show Shot in the Dark on Netflix. Anybody ever watch that show? Sexton's explosiveness in person was eye-opening. He seems like he had an all-access pass to whatever he wanted at all times, and actually shot the ball pretty well. In transition, it was the same story as Alabama. He was lightning quick getting the ball off the rim and going. He did take a lot of long contested twos, some of them were damn near 20 feet long, and his quickness set him up to exploit some disorganized summer league defenses. That just kind of comes with the territory. But his combination of steady ball handling and top-flight athleticism were likely proven to be more than translatable to the next level. With better players, which he will play with better players than he has in the past with the Cavs, I could see him having a really big year. It's really interesting that among the position groups in the draft, you could argue that the point guards looked the best overall. Shea played extremely well throughout. Trae Young picked up momentum by the end of the week after taking a beating online and elsewhere. And Colin Sexton looked fantastic essentially the whole time. Trae really seemed to settle down a bit and started to let the action come to him, and he instantly started to play better, which has been sort of roundly a criticism of him. Let's be honest, we were all kind of waiting for Trae to struggle and poke fun. I don't know why, he just sort of is a magnet for that. But he definitely started to shoot the ball better, take better shots, and just played more under control and in a nice rhythm with his teammates, which was nice to see. Wendell Carter looked fantastic pretty much the entire time I watched him. Maybe it's a confirmation bias because I think that Carter could be one of the better players in the draft, but he was one of the most impressive players that we saw on the trip. He took good shots, read double teams quickly, he was excellent with dribble handoffs around the foul line, and he did a nice job showing that plodding big man label that he's acquired is a little misleading. He's got some explosiveness. I mean, I know you guys saw the big two-handed block. He looked comfortable facing up, and he never seemed to be forcing his offense, and yet he scored a lot and efficiently. Carter slipping to where he did already seems like one of the big misfires in the draft, and I was really impressed with him. Omari Spellman's performances were a little understated, but you kind of had to read between the lines. Summer League is a guard-dominated event, a lot like All-Star games, and Spellman, with his ability to stretch the floor and score around the rim without constantly needing the ball, was fully on display in those aspects. He looked comfortable in his first NBA action, and I think it's highly possible that he'll get some good burn this season. He really did give me some explosive Paul Millsap vibes or Maurice Spates. Hornets fans, I'm sorry to say it, but it'll probably be a long time before I speak the words, the Hornets just outgunned the Warriors. But they did in Summer League. I hope their fans enjoy the moment. Hernan Gomez was a bright spot for the Hornets all week, and he held true to that in the lone game that we saw. He's still a work in progress, but you have to think that the Hornets feel good about his long-term upside and the flashes that he's begun to show from three. He shot it well, and he even showed some nimbleness protecting the rim. Well, it's our last full day in Vegas, on the verge of being struck by lightning out here in the open, beautiful, vast desert. It's been a great time, learning experience in a lot of different ways. We filmed a video last night that involved alcohol, regretting that a little bit. So we got to see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar come up and dap Bill Russell. Russell didn't flip him off for once. You know, we had two goats meeting each other. Figure we should probably start calling that a petting zoo. Probably. We're gonna be watching Celtics Knicks. Our pathetic, hopeless Knicks fans that we're here with are gonna go watch that and drool over every ounce of promise. We're gonna see Ayton in person, see if he can read the defense as quickly as I hope that he can. Here's to a glorious last day in Las Vegas. Josh Hart kicked ass before we got there, while we were there, and after we left. And I think the rationale for him being MVP just was solidified the entire time. He definitely looked the part in the games I saw, though. He seems like a guy with like sky-high confidence. He shot it well, he attacked the rim relentlessly, and overall, he just seemed to be a really calming presence on the court. He was just a little too steady, a little too efficient, and a little too much for the Summer League competition. He falls in that category of big brother types that are just a little overqualified to be playing. If I'm a Knicks fan, I'm excited by this kid because he hasn't played organized basketball in a year and he still did that at Summer League. In Summer League, big men have to find ways to get engaged in the game without consistently getting touches like they normally might, because you're not running overly complex sets. He didn't always make the right reads, and there were a few times where there were some shots that I thought he could have gotten to that he didn't because he was out of position. But nearly everyone who tried to shoot over him got Mitch slapped, which is what I'm going to call a perimeter block from Mitchell Robinson. His ability to cover ground and get in the air was fairly shocking to witness in person. His closeouts showed phenomenal raw potential and really impressive athleticism. He actually tied the all-time record for blocks averaged, tying Greg Oden at 4 blocks per game. Watching the assorted groups of personnel affiliated with each team filter in and out of every game is one of the more entertaining aspects of Summer League, I can tell you that much. As the Celtics got ready to play the Knicks, the crowd got really excited because Kyrie, Danny Ainge, Brad Stevens, Jaylen Brown, they all just came in, casually sat down courtside. Kyrie was also wearing the Kawhi Jordan 1s. Coincidence? Our buddy Nat actually shamelessly filmed Brad Stevens and Dave Fizdale talking with his famous wife nearby. There's audio, but I'm not going to share it. I'll say this though, it had to do with making fun of certain guys in the league thinking that they're Steph Curry. It will remain in the vault. What can you really take away from Summer League? It's hard to say. We've seen players go there and do okay, and we've seen average to below average players go there and do extremely well. All in all, it's a good measure of basic understanding of spacing, communication on the floor, remedial ball screen action, and competency in a game setting without tremendous structure. For some guys, that's cake. For others, it was noticeably difficult. I'm looking at you, DeAndre Ayton. Do I recommend Vegas for more than 2 or 3 days? No, I do not. I understand why they have the event there, but overall, I do not enjoy Las Vegas. I felt like one of the feral ghouls from Fallout 4 by the last day of the trip from lack of sleep and lack of non-shitty food going into my body. Still, I do highly recommend Summer League for the basketball fan. It's basically a low-key basketball paradise. It's sort of like South by Southwest, but for hoops. You're gonna see all types of interesting basketball characters just walking around. And if you can be patient with the erratic quality of play, it's a great peek at the talent for the future. If I can make it back again, I'm sure I will. Hey folks, I appreciate you watching, and if you like this video, click the like button and be sure to subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter at JKyleMann. Say hey.